I love that so much that there's kind of a power behind it
Yeah.
that, you actually can get seen beyond, the 48 hours your social post is out there. It's something that you're building over time and it's going to
hmm
continue to grow in terms of visibility. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I am really excited you're here today because I've brought an incredible guest with me today, Maggie Schneider. Welcome. I'm
Yeah.
so happy you are here with us.
Thank you so much for having me back. I'm excited to talk to your audience.
Yay, so good. Well, we're going to dive into websites and visibility and getting people to your website and all kinds of good things as you are the founder of Hilltop Help. But before we get into your intro, your background, your story, and all the goodness that I know you're going to bring to this episode, let's just start with some fun, like rapid fire, get to know you questions if you're up for it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, morning person or night owl?
I'm definitely a morning person. My kids make that a little difficult, but I don't like staying up late. No.
Okay. What is the most visited tab that you have open right now?
Oh, definitely Squarespace, because as a
Okay.
designer, I'm using it for other clients for my own website. I'm kind of revamping things over there. So yeah,
Yep.
definitely Squarespace.
Okay, gotcha. And your favorite business tool or system that you can't live without?
Okay, ClickUp.
Like,
I just moved. Are you a
I'm a
ClickUp
ClickUp
person?
person too. Yes.
It's very overwhelming. It's been like 2 years, and I'm like, I finally feel like I'm getting it. Like using the
Yeah.
automations, like all the flow. It's nice.
Okay, we'll have a separate conversation on
Yeah.
that because we're in San Diego and that's where they're headquartered. And we have
Oh
had
yeah.
this ongoing joke with our team that really we got started on ClickUp because my husband Jeremy is like, we need a system. We got too much going on.
Yep.
And you know how they give you like the verified badge or the
hmm
like super user badge? So pretty much everyone on our team has one except for him. We don't know why, but he's like banned for the badge and he's in there all the time. Like we're in ClickUp
Weird.
nonstop. So we always joke that we're going to walk down to ClickUp headquarters downtown San Diego and be like,
What's
"Where's his
going on?
badge?"
Truly. Even I have one too.
Yeah, right. I know. I got mine and I was like, "I got my badge. Where's
Yeah.
yours?"
Put it on my website. It matters.
So funny. Okay, what's your drink? Coffee, tea, matcha? What's your go-to?
Definitely a coffee person, but I'm like one and done because caffeine I'm very sensitive to.
One and done. I like it. I was never a coffee person until I had children, and then I became
Yeah.
a coffee person.
That makes a difference.
They do it. They do it. Well, again, really excited for this conversation today. We're going to be talking all about websites and getting traffic to your site. But before we dive in, I want to hear a little of your story. So, Maggie, you went from being a nurse to an
Yeah.
SEO expert. So, I know there's got to be a story in there somewhere. So, tell us a little bit about how
Yeah.
you landed doing what you do now.
Of course, yeah. It's becoming more common, definitely people leaving the healthcare field and kind of starting their own business, but a lot of people end up starting businesses related to healthcare, and I kind of went a different route. I just was kind of burnt out from healthcare. This was like 2020 where I kind of got this idea, of course, with COVID and everything else going on, that I wanted to do something different. I was pregnant with my second baby at the time, so I just started like taking some online courses through like people I
Oh,
met on Instagram of like how to become a VA, how to start your business, how to blog,
yeah.
how to learn SEO. And then my first couple of clients came from, group members of those courses. And I just kind of took on whatever work I could get, just kind of getting my feet wet in the marketing world, obviously very different from healthcare. And yeah, the rest is history, really. As they say, I just kind of took all the work I could, learned as I went, invested a lot in courses and mentorship. And that's where I kind of fell in love with blogging and SEO and web design because a lot of my clients, those were things that were like completely overwhelming to them, but they knew
Mhm.
that it was important because of that long term like visibility that you get from SEO and having a good quality website. So yeah, I knew I kind of didn't want to do social media management or some of those other like funnel setup and nitty gritty things
Yeah.
like that. So SEO was just the perfect fit because it's a little bit of writing, a little bit of creativity, and then of course the techie side as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. I feel like 2020 was such a pivotal time for so many. That was the
Yes.
same time my husband left his electrical engineering job to come work alongside me in the business, like between, and it sounds like your kids are littler, but like
Yeah.
distance learning, like just the crazy of that time. I think it made everyone like check back in to like, is this what I want to be doing? Should
Right.
I be doing something different? I feel like so many people made big leaps in their life or their business or their career during such a wild, crazy time. So,
Yes,
yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. So SEO expert now. So before we get into some of the like technical or strategy side of things, I mean, you're working with clients all the time when it comes to having a website, building a brand online, showing up online. And I know that we kind of have a mixed audience here on the podcast. We have some people that are all in on the digital marketing side. They've launched their website. They're like, really building this long-term strategy to help their business grow, which I love so much. And we have other people that are like, why would I create a website? Like, why do I even need that? My company at my direct sales company gives me a website. The whole idea of direct sales is that it's simple and you don't have to layer in all these extra things. So I'd love to hear maybe in your own words why you think this is kind of an important hub that you have for your business and why maybe those that might be on the fence or not sure if this is for them would want to consider even having a website from the get-go.
Yeah, so I know we were talking about this before we got on here, but it's definitely one of those things where you don't want to have all of your eggs in one basket, as we've seen in the last like year or two, especially where some companies just kind of go out of business or they change their, payment structure or their model.
Mhm.
And so you really want to be able to control as much as you can with,
Yeah.
getting your audience, being able to find you, and then also it helps you build your authority and credibility having your own website. So I can share a quick story about one of my
Yeah.
clients who I was working with for several years before she decided to invest in a website. I was helping her with like podcast management and things like that and some of her social media. And she realized she was like, I really want to get into speaking. I eventually want to be an author and write a book. So I think like now is the time to just go all in on my brand, have her own website, have her own branding so that she's not just the girl that sells Scout and Cellar or just the girl that sells Beauty Counter. She
Yeah.
is her own brand, and people come to her for resources on all things wellness, all things health and fitness. And now she has, her blog and her podcast hosted there on her website so that new people can find her through there. So it's really been a great tool for her. It's cool to see how that growth that she's had just in the last 2 years of having her website.
Yeah. I always say a website kind of makes you official. Like, I mean, you're
Yeah,
official even in direct sales without a website, but I feel like once you have that corner of the web that's yours and you're playing on your own turf and you have your own content there that it does. I feel like it opens your eyes to the possibilities. Like, wow, maybe I want to sell this and I want to speak or and I want to write the
right.
book or and I want to create a digital product. And so it is really cool to see people kind of step into that next level of their business. And yeah, I love that so much.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. It's
um,
like one of those things where you kind of get into direct selling thinking like, oh, this will just be a side hustle, but then you
yeah,
realize like how much potential it really has to help
yeah.
you grow and make money and, find what you're passionate about. And I think just, yeah, like you said, having a website really makes that official.
Absolutely. It's a great kind of step into entrepreneurship or completely doing your own thing because you do get a chance to kind of wear all the hats and try all the
Yeah.
different things when you're in the industry. And I mean, that's where I got my start. And I know you and I are in Mixer Mind together, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of entrepreneurs inside that group that actually spent some time in network marketing or
Yeah.
direct sales. So it's been really fun to hear those backstories and those early stages of business growth, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's a great
Um,
way to like get a crash course in, like you said,
yeah,
marketing and all things business because you're wearing all the hats when it comes to that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, so what drew you into SEO? Like, what kind of clicked for you, and you were like, okay, this is actually like something I'd want to teach and something I'd want to do for other people professionally. What was it about that aspect of having a website? Because there's so many other things. There's graphics
Yes.
and there's content and there's all these things, but SEO in particular, what drew you into that part?
Yeah, so a few things. The first was I saw a lot of web designers, and I would work with businesses who had worked with other web designers in the past. And this is no like hate or shade to them, but they
Yeah.
didn't have an SEO foundation in place. So it was kind of like I had to end up going in and redoing a lot of their hard work when if they had just had like the SEO foundation in place to begin with, it would have saved them a lot of time and probably gotten them some results a little bit quicker. So that was the first thing is just kind of seeing like the mistakes that can happen when you either build your own website or hire someone who doesn't know about SEO to build your website. So it was that. And then of course, like you said, just like looking at the numbers and seeing, it started with me actually experimenting on my own. Like I was just writing blog content and
Yeah.
anyone that has a blog, like you just kind of start writing like it's your diary and you're just like,
Yeah.
word vomiting on the page without
Right.
really any intentional intention or strategy. And yeah, so then I started playing around, repurposing things on Pinterest and on Instagram and seeing the longevity of that content, especially compared to what is happening on Instagram or other,
Yeah.
social media platforms where you are posting it and then it kind of disappears within 24, 48 hours if you're lucky, unless you go viral for usually all the wrong reasons. Um,
Right.
so yeah, I just kind of got obsessed with like, how can I give such good value to my target audience that like I'm gonna show up on the first page of Google when they type in this question, and like I'm their
Yeah.
go-to resource when it comes to, answering their question about ClickUp and whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that so much that there's kind of a power behind it
Yeah.
that, you actually can get seen beyond, the 48 hours your social post is out there. It's something that you're building over time and it's going to
hmm
continue to grow in terms of visibility. Knowing that we do have a lot of direct sellers that already have websites listening in today, are there any suggestions you have for just kind of quick wins or small tweaks or things that they can do now or get started doing to begin thinking about SEO if it's not a topic they've thought about in the past?
Yes. So, I mean, I'm going to plug myself a little bit here. So, I have an SEO checklist that is just kind of the basics, the bare bones of what you need to like try to optimize your website to get found on Google. So, I know you'll put that link in the show notes
Yes.
there. So, in that checklist, I talk about connecting your website to Google Analytics and Google Search Console. A lot of people like get, again, it's Google, it's overwhelming. They get overwhelmed with just that little code that you have to put on the back end of your
Yeah.
website. But if you don't put it in there, Google won't start collecting the data. So,
Mhm.
if 5 years from now you want to go start focusing on SEO, you're starting from scratch. All of that website traffic that you've gotten over the last 5 years, you don't have any of that data captured to help you make those informed decisions. So, Google, the difference there, I can explain that because a lot of people get confused, is Google Analytics kind of tells you where is your traffic coming from? Is it
Right.
coming from organic search? Is it coming from ChatGPT now as an option? Is it coming from Pinterest or Instagram? And then Google Search Console is kind of what gives you those keywords, which is so, so important because you want to know what people are searching to get onto your website,
Yeah.
especially in like the wellness space. I see this a lot where people kind of use the diagnoses or the, treatment terms that the average person doesn't know. So if somebody is suffering from, postpartum anxiety, they might not be searching that. I mean, that's kind of a general term, but for the
Yeah.
sake of this example, they might be searching for like, why can't I sleep at night? And that's a
Mm.
term that you could easily put on your website and your content and be able to get in front of the right people. So definitely, 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 if you don't have it yet, connect those two things. Like I said, it's as easy as just copying a little code and putting it on the back end of your website, but then you'll be able to look back, whenever it is that you want to focus on SEO and see all of that good information.
I love that. So good. And I love that example that sometimes we use jargon in our businesses
Yes.
because we're just used to talking about our businesses, but to the outside person, that might not be what they're actually looking for. So it's important to know some of those keywords. So
Yes.
love that. And you're right, adding that code, easy peasy. You just
Yeah.
kind of copy and paste it and then it's there and then you never have to do it again. It just
Yeah.
stays there, right?
Exactly. Yeah. People
It's
get
a one
nervous.
and
They're like,
done.
I'm gonna break my website. But you
Yeah.
you won't.
Yeah, I love that. So good. Okay, so anything else that you'd suggest as they're thinking about maybe even their content strategy on their website? Would you say to do a bunch of keyword research, or I know sometimes people create a website and then they just kind of don't touch it and they leave it there
Yeah.
forever, which I know for some that might work for them, but creating fresh content or new content, what kind of strategies can you suggest just around how to keep your website building in visibility over time?
Yeah, so you kind of touched on it there. Adding content on a somewhat regular basis
Mhm.
is helpful to Google. It shows them that you're one, still in business, that you are still actively, practicing or updating your website. So that is a good signal to Google. And it also allows you to get found for more of a variety of keywords. So if you're writing blog content or even like using this podcast as an example, putting
Mhm.
that on your website, all of those pages give you more opportunities to be found for other keywords. I always tell people like don't stress too much about the keywords in the beginning because it overwhelms people. I don't know. As
Yeah,
much as I
yeah,
try to explain it, it's just one of those things like there is no right answer, right? It's one of those things that's always changing and trends happen and there's no perfect keyword for your specific business. It just is a lot of like trial and error. And that's again where
Mhm.
that Google Search Console comes into play, is you might see that one of the pages on your website is ranking really high for a term that you wouldn't expect. And so you think like, how can I make more content around that
Mhm.
keyword, right?
Mhm.
So that's a good example. The other thing with keyword research is you don't need any fancy tools. If you just go into Google and start typing things related to your industry or related to your services or products that you sell, and just see like what comes up in that drop down, what questions come up in that people also search for kind of question.
Yeah,
It gives you options there. So those are just great resources to just kind of get your wheels spinning and like brainstorming. And then the third thing that I always tell people is just keep a list. Like it can just be a Google Doc or like in your notes app of just like common questions that people are coming to you for. Like if they are asking the same question over and over and over again, even if it's like, what's the best package for this, right? Like
yeah.
you can write a blog post about that or put that on a service page so that you're answering those questions. If five people are in your DMs asking the same question, the chances are that people are also going to Google and asking those same questions. So
Yeah.
yeah, just any way that you can use your audience and do that market research piece is just a great way to like get the foundation of your keyword strategy in place.
I love that. Oh, yeah, that's so easy. So good. Yeah,
Mhm.
keeping the ongoing list is
Yeah.
a good one. Love that so much. And then you mentioned blogging. So let's go there
Yeah.
next because I've definitely heard from a few like, oh, blogging. Yeah, I used to blog or I had a
hmm
blog spot or like blogging almost like it's a way of the past. So I'd love to hear your point of view on blogging and is that still relevant? Is that a strategy that we should definitely be tapping into and creating content?
Yeah, it's definitely not dead. As I mentioned before, it's one of those things where it builds your credibility and authority. You are, writing on a topic that you are very knowledgeable about. So
Yeah.
people can kind of, if they like your style of writing, or even I've seen people put like YouTube videos on there as well. You can, again, position yourself as the authority. So as the go-to person that they go to. And then it's helpful because of the SEO strategy. So, like I said, every page on your website hopefully is showing up for a different set of keywords. So it just gives you more opportunities to show up. Yeah, it's definitely not dead. I do it for several of my clients right now,
Yeah.
and it's the number one way that we increase their website traffic. Like the more pages, and it's not to overwhelm your audience with like information overload, but you do just want to have a resource for those questions that they're asking. So yeah, I love blogging. People always ask too, like, is it worth my time and how can I
Uh-huh.
monetize it? Blogging is, if you have a blog on your website, it can get found for years and years and years. Like, have you ever searched for a cookie recipe? That blog could be 10, 15 years old, right? Like my favorite sugar cookie recipe I always go to, it's
Yeah.
from 2019. So she probably hasn't updated it much since 2019, but it is still driving lots of traffic to her website. And then the monetization piece comes into play where you can, maybe you're doing like a product roundup where you can link to those affiliate links or, your storefront for your selling platform, whatever that is. So there's that. Of course, then people can also inquire to work with you more directly in that like if you
Yeah.
are a speaker or something like that, where you kind of have that multi-passionate thing. So there's always ways that you can include those other links to continue working with you or purchase from you.
Yeah. So worth your time, worth building it
Yes.
into the content plan for sure. I was chatting with somebody the other day and she was like, gosh, like the SEO on your site is so good. I was a guest on your podcast and it's like, it ranks better than my own website for me. Like, how do you
Nice.
have such good SEO? Like, who did you hire? Is what she asked me. And I was like, actually, we've never really outsourced the SEO side, but we have a lot of content and we've consistently
Right.
created content over the years. And then some of those pages that do, you can go look at the Google Analytics that do get a lot of hits. I'm like, oh, that page needs to be updated. Like that was me when I was recording videos with like this weird fake backdrop and I'm like looking off to the side and I'm all washed out, I'm like, oh yeah, we gotta update some things over there. But it is interesting because our website really started as a blog, and I did the
Mhm.
exact same thing. Anytime anyone asked me a question about direct sales more than like twice, then I'd be like, "Ugh, I'm just going to go write a blog post on it."
Right.
So it was kind of a hobby project for a while just to make things easier. When people ask me questions, they could be like, here, just go read this post versus let me have like a 47 back and forth Facebook message with you.
Right.
And now today, I mean, it took us a little while to monetize it, but once we monetized it, like, yeah, like it's a full-fledged business. So
Yeah.
I think it's fun to think about like you don't always realize the potential of the content that you're creating and how that's going to pay off for you way down the road. And some of the stuff we're still ranking for is not even content or topics that I really train on a lot or speak
Right.
on a lot anymore. But people are still searching for them and we're still coming up. So we're definitely like doing a little bit of a sweep of our website right now, being
Yeah.
like, okay, like these are the most visited pages. What else do we need to like update? Not
What
totally
can
change
we
the
do?
content
Yeah.
on, but like maybe the call to action there should be a little different than what we had before. We should update this to say, hey,
Hmm.
check out this most recent one. So they do. It totally pays off over time.
Yeah, and I mean, to your point too, it's one of those things where like if you just start with little steps now, then
Yeah.
2, 3 years from now, you'll see hopefully the fruits of your labor. And like you
Yeah.
said, it's an always, you're always going to be updating your website and updating your
Never
content.
done.
But I think the time spent on your website, whether that's blogging or even long form content like this podcast or a YouTube channel, that is going to pay off so much longer than the hour you spent making one reel that
True.
gets
Very
10 views or
true.
something. The algorithm's all messed up.
I know, I know, I know. Well, let's talk about an adjacent space. Let's talk about Pinterest real quick
Yeah.
because if you already have a website and you're already blogging, I know a lot of people are thinking, should I be using Pinterest? Will Pinterest serve me? I feel like Pinterest is even maybe a longer end game
Yeah.
than
Hmm.
blogging, but I'd love to hear from your perspective how like is Pinterest a tool that we should be thinking about and how do we work that into our content strategy as we're creating new blog posts?
Yeah. So whenever I'm blogging for like myself or one of my clients, it's so quick and easy. If you just have like template of like 5 pins, like that
Yeah,
you make in Canva, swap out the title, swap out the picture. It will take you 5 to 10 minutes per blog post. So it is such a low lift for, like you said, just that longevity. Like you
yeah,
can post something over on Pinterest and same thing. It's going to last you a year, 2, 3, who knows how long. But it's one of those things where if you just take the little baby steps, or if you have a virtual assistant or something, that
yeah.
is like one of the easiest things to outsource. It doesn't take a lot of strategy or anything. It's just really another way to repurpose that content that you already have, which I love.
I love that too. We've shown up on Pinterest for a long time. Not to say that I don't give it a lot of love because we do, but
Yeah.
it's the same thing. One of our assistants on our team puts together the content plan every week and the pins, and I think it's the same thing. Swapping out images. We have a couple templates.
Yeah.
They write the words to go with it, and it's just on autopilot. It just happens. So
Hmm.
I love that. Just taking that as kind of one additional step that you're doing when you're creating new content for your website is to create those pins to go along with it.
Definitely. And it's such a visual platform too. So I know a lot of direct sellers that are in the healthcare space,
Yeah.
or of course they have products. So Pinterest does really great for like product sales too, or like even Etsy shops over there. Like if you
Yeah.
have something that is visually appealing that you want to promote, like Pinterest is a great way to do that
Great
because
place
it's
to be.
a visual search engine, unlike Google, where it's like you have to write the right words to make people want to click. This is like, oh, I just need a nice picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, so I know we're jumping around. We're covering all ways to get more visibility on your site, which I love. So we talked about this just real briefly before we clicked record, but let's talk about Google Business Profiles because that's one of the
Mhm.
things that I've heard some people working on. It might still be on my to-do list to do, I'll be honest, but I know that that can also bring more traffic to your site. So tell us a little bit about what you recommend to your clients on business profiles.
Yeah. So number one, don't do it unless you have your own website because I don't think Google will let you link like your seller
Separate
shop or whatever
website.
to it.
Yeah.
So that's step one. But it is definitely helpful because it's just another way that people can find you. And you don't need to have a physical location to have a Google business profile. That is a common misconception. So
Yeah.
I have a Google business profile, even though I don't want my home address on there.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It just kind of shows like I serve anyone in the United States and it gives a nice little blurb about my business. It's also a great way to collect reviews. Some people like really value those Google reviews more than reviews on anything anywhere else. So like even if you have
Yeah.
reviews on your website or you share those reviews like on social media, Google reviews go a long, long way. So if you can capture those, that is going to again build your authority and hopefully you'll start showing up when people are searching,
Yeah.
Squarespace web designer near me or whatever it is that they are
Right.
searching. I just had someone a few months ago who found me from searching Squarespace web designer near me and I popped up. So
Near me.
that
I love
is
that.
definitely one of those things where even though I don't have like a physical address on my website or anything, I still showed
Yeah.
up because Google knows.
That's Google knows. Google knows. Okay. Is it hard to set up one of these business profiles? Is it like
No.
super time consuming or is it just sitting on my to-do list because I'm a procrastinator?
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's like fun. So I get the procrastination and
Yeah.
I got suspended for some reason. Google didn't like whatever picture I put and it took me 9 months to like
Oh my
just all I
gosh.
had to do was fill out a little appeal and send in a document and it
Okay.
was totally fine. But yeah, I hear that a lot. People just procrastinate it. It really doesn't. It
Yeah.
takes, 5, 10 minutes. You answer a few questions about your business. As long as you don't have a physical space, if you have a physical space, they make you like take a video walking through it or something silly
Oh,
like that. So that part is
interesting.
annoying. But yeah, if you don't have a physical space, it's a lot more simple. And again, it's just have it going in the background. You don't need to worry about it or mess with it. It's just one of those things you do once and don't worry about it again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I gotta just knock it out and get it done. I
Yeah,
feel like I
for the
started the
reviews
process
alone. I'm sure you
and
have a
then I
million
was like,
reviews.
I'll just put that to the side. I'll come back
Yeah.
to that. And I haven't come back to it.
It's not
Okay,
fun.
so I love this because this is, I mean, just so practical, so much of what we talked about today, but blogging, add to Pinterest, create the Google business profile, get connected to Google Analytics. All of those things are easy for the most part, like one-time steps that we can do to
Yeah,
get that infrastructure in place. And then it's more just creating content, repurposing it, keeping it out there, and keeping your content fresh on your website. And that's going to bring more people to come see you on your
definitely.
website, which ultimately is the goal. Everyone's like, I got this website. Now, how do I get people to it? Right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you can't make decisions when you don't have enough data. So having that like analytics and piece set up is really
Yeah.
helpful too.
So good. So good. Okay. So tell us, where can we connect with you? Where can we learn more about
Yeah.
what you do and grab that SEO checklist too? We definitely want to link to that.
Yes. Yeah. So obviously my website, which is hilltophelp.com. So you'll see all my services on there. And then of course I have a blog that is kind of all things DIY SEO. If you have any questions about keyword research or anything like that, that's all over there in blog form. And then I have some courses over there you can browse. And then I'm on Instagram as my main
Okay.
social platform. As much as I talk crap about it, it's I just enjoy it like as a person. So I'm like, as a business owner, it's easier for me to be over there. So I'm
Yeah.
Hilltop Help over there as well. And I try to share some quick SEO tips there too.
Amazing. Maggie, this was so helpful. I
Yay.
loved our conversation so much and maybe added a couple things to my own to-do list. So
Good.
I so appreciate you taking the time, being here with us today, and sharing your incredible wisdom with our
Of
audience. Thank you.
course. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, talk soon. Bye, Maggie.
Bye.
This episode is sponsored by Schneider. Schneider is the #1 social media scheduler for direct sellers and loved by creators in any industry. It's truly your one-stop shop for all things social. Join hundreds of thousands of social sellers and entrepreneurs who turn to Schneider for free social media training and resources. Get started today with your free 30-day trial at moderndirectseller.com/Schneider.